What's going on, people? We are here and we are ready to get it in. It's Game Time Audible. I'm your boy E Beasy, and that man is the man with the master plan, the one and only sports guru Hugh Lee. And basically, once I throw it to him, it is his show. He is going to run the thing. He gonna let y'all know what we're talking about. He gonna let us know when we're going on commercial. He running the hookup. I'm just the man with the board op, you know what I'm saying? But of course, I'm gonna put my 2 cents in it, as we always do. You know how we get out. So that being said, let's get to it. Hugh, what we doing, baby? What's happening?
Man, we're gonna hear first, man, about the throw a game time audible at you, man. I'm about to hit you with Omaha right now. We about to jump into football right away, man. That's how we're
All
gonna start
right.
the show. Tell,
Hey,
tell
the way
that
I see it, it ain't no other way to do it this week, Hugh. It's too much to talk about
there's
in
too
the
much
world of
going on,
football.
man. We can't just let that sit and take a back seat today, man. We've been having a lot of crazy stuff going on in the D, man. Haven't been too happy, man. We got bamboozled with the weather. You know what they say, the worst storm since the 1900s. Man, everybody in the news broadcast would be slapped for that, man. You know, all the salt and ice melts and stuff we done bought, man, extra food in people's houses. And for what?
Now, don't
It's
get me
regular
wrong,
weather.
Hugh. It was snowmageddon. It just wasn't snowmageddon here. That's all. They just
Yeah,
got a little
okay,
worse
I
in
can
other
dig that.
places.
Two
So,
seconds.
we
Two
definitely got to
seconds.
send some shout out to prayers to all y'all down there in Indiana, Tennessee, Kentucky, even down there in Texas where y'all ain't used to getting that snow.
My
But
brother them got hard in Tennessee.
man, they got about a couple inches. They ready to die down that way. But yeah, whatever it is, y'all go ahead and deal with it. It'll go all melt soon down there for y'all. We the ones gonna be stuck with it for a while. So
They're gonna have to take that L for us this year, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for having what we normally have. We
facts.
gonna we gonna start off with the NFL, man, and I don't know what's going on, even. I think the black player or the black coaches are about to get a black coalition going on or whatnot, man. It's been a lot of talk right now been going on because we just heard about the situation. I thought for sure Brian Flores would be good for the Chicago Bears. I thought the Houston Texans, which I thought that it really made perfect sense because Nick Casario is from the New England Patriots organization. I thought that'd have been a guy he'd have loved to plug and play. I don't think it really has much to do with him. I think he wants to go to a team and make it a winning culture. I don't know what's going on with the Houston Texans. We had issues with them before, and we've heard it from different players like Ed Reed saying, it's modern day slavery down there. So I don't know if he want to take that jump to go there right now. But the New York Giants job, did you hear about how we found out about he didn't get the job? That was kind of interesting to me.
I did.
Yeah, so Bill Belichick hit him up and said, "Congratulations." And he thought he had the job. And then he looked at it again. He said, "Man, I effed up, man. I'm sorry, man. It was Brian Day Bowles." So, that he was really pissed to hear that.
Mm.
And then, the whole situation with the Denver Broncos didn't work out. And, it was just certain things that happened in his interview process that he felt made him feel uncomfortable, man. And a lot of times when he interviewed, and I think one time he had a second interview, but then they ended up hiring the coach, Brian Daboll, right away when he really thought that New York Giants job was going to go to him. I think due to the fact because of the Bill Belichick coaching tree and the tradition that he had in New York, and that really disappointed him, man. I think he looked at it like it's the last straw, man. Enough is enough. We've always said that we don't feel like black coaches has been appreciated and they've been unappreciated and they haven't been getting their opportunities. And so my man's filed a lawsuit, man, to sue them because he didn't feel like it was right in the way they was treating a lot of the black coaches and how they basically discriminated on giving them a job. What's
Now,
your take on that?
now here's the thing. It's so many different layers to this story that if I take up the time that I want to, you won't have time to say nothing else tonight. So I'm gonna try to condense this to the next few minutes, but understand some of my other thoughts on this story. I'm definitely going to address on Game Time Audible. I mean, sorry, we doing Game Time Audible. Duh. Get off my lawn live on Sunday, and actually, there's another platform, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But basically, I will say this: Brian Flores is taking a huge chance here, a huge chance. He has basically put his life's work on the line by filing this lawsuit. Understand the name that has been mentioned many times the last couple of days in regards to all this is one Colin Kaepernick. We all know the Kaepernick story. He did the kneeling. He basically did his job. He did it relatively well. His contract ended, and soon after that, nobody would hire him. He sued the NFL. He, in essence, won. Granted, it didn't go to court, but it basically got settled out of court, and they paid him some undisclosed amount. And people, if y'all honestly think that was $10 million he got, and he's still chilling, y'all stupid. I'm gonna tell you that now. He definitely got more than 10 million. Okay, for the record. But all that being said,
he got enough to where he work.
But all that being said, if you think that was a big deal and that was reason to boycott the NFL and whatnot, I can't wait to see what your reaction is as more and more details of this particular lawsuit come out. Not to mention the fact that I know you've heard the fact, Hugh, that there are now other African American coaches looking to join him in this lawsuit, which actually gives it
Marvin Lewis. Yeah, Marvin Lewis was one of the guys who stepped up.
Yeah, also Hugh, the former coach of the Browns. And then there's talk that even Art Shell may have something to say in regards to this.
Interesting.
So all that being said, they are glossing over most of what the lawsuit pertains to. The main topic that most of the talking heads are talking about, and I'm so glad you're here, Pride, to discuss with us this evening, is that the main thing they're discussing is this deal that him and apparently the owner of the Dolphins talked about, where he was going to pay him $100,000 per game to tank so they could get the high draft pick in Miami, knowing that at that time they wanted Tua to be that pick, and they end up getting it anyway. But that being said, if this actually did happen, that counts into the whole integrity of the NFL, and that leads to a much bigger problem. Okay, prior to saying NFL is straight disrespectful to us, I'm on the verge of giving it up on it once again, but forever this time. Why do we love a country that doesn't love us? Now, that's two whole different statements, Pride. Bottom line is, y'all wasting y'all time with this whole boycott thing. I'm going to tell you this now. It's a waste of time. Remember, United States of America is 60% white. The NFL is one of the biggest corporations in the United States. If every last one of the 14% of African Americans stop watching football, NFL still going to make money. Because in the end, most of the people spending money in the NFL, it's not us. It's them. Now, if they choose to boycott on our behalf, that's when the NFL has an issue. In the end, if we boycott, the few of us, the many of us, it matters not. That league still going to make money. It's pointless. That's not how we get them. How do we get them, you ask, Pride? Stay tuned Sunday. But for now, we send it back to Hugh. What up, Hugh?
Yeah, man. A lot of people don't know too. One thing that you was talking about, you had a discussion. I think Pride had something to say on his Facebook page when he was like talking about the coaches, and when you mentioned, you was like, well, not all the coaches are being blackballed. Byron Leftwich has a job,
but see, keep in mind there is something to be said about that, Hugh, because remember, right now the NFL ownership consists of all white men, 2 white women, and 1 minority. That minority is Mr. Khan. And Mr. Khan is the owner of what team? The Jacksonville Jaguars. So when you consider he's the person who gave the thumbs up on that hire, we still at 0.0, Hugh, where there's still really no white owners hiring any African-American coaches at this point.
They must have threw the plug on Brian Leftwich because we thought that was a for sure thing. When I looked up when we were talking, and then you mentioned that, I said, let me look back up because I remember them saying that Doug Peterson had a second interview. And you know me, I'm scratching my head like how Doug Peterson had a second interview when the job was already taken. I said something's not right. So then when I was looking, I kept trying to Google and see if he had the job because you know most times they'll say, you know, if you put in a person's name, they'll let you know who he is. So that never came up. It was like a few days later, like, well, they didn't reach an agreement. They couldn't see eye to eye. And then it got to the point where all of a sudden they said today that he backed out of the deal.
Okay, the
I
one thing I
believe
will say,
he might stay with the Bucks now.
Hugh, is if you are still thinking along the lines of they should hire these people because they have the resume and they deserve to be hired, throw that out the window, sir. That is not happening. Even with the Rooney Rule, that's not happening. Understand the Rooney Rule made them look good, okay? It made the league look good in terms of the hiring practices. But to what extent has the Rooney Rule actually worked? Has more African American coaches been hired? Sure. But in the same token, let's look at the longevity. Let's look at what happens when most of these coaches end up getting a job, end up not making out well, and then are subsequently let go. Out of all of those particular coaches, the Marvin Lewis's, the coach, oh, I'm losing it right now. Coach Caldwell, the others. Out of all those coaches, how many times have they once again gotten a job after that since the
The
Rooney
Lovey
Rule?
Smiths and, you know, guys like
Exactly.
that.
Exactly.
They happen because of the fact is it's like a one chance, one time only situation. And with Leftwich, I believe when everything went sour, it was when the second time they said when it looked like it was a lock for him that Doug Peterson had a second interview. And I'm like, oh, really? How was that when, you know, you already had a coach? And I said, something's behind that. And that's when I looked up and I said, well, you can't be surprised. And him backing out right now, I don't know what the repercussions is or what's going on, but I definitely think that they're going to unite a lot of those guys. And I believe even right now, it'll be a travesty if just Brian Flores be the one to step to the plate and nobody else do anything because the purpose will not be served, you know. So hopefully that they do what's right, but at the same time, man, it's just a fight they're gonna have to keep fighting, man, because I don't think that there's never gonna really give in, and you know, unless it gets to the point where we have more black owners, you know, which do I believe that's gonna happen? Like you
And,
said,
and,
it's a
and
whole bunch of
again,
that
Hugh,
old money that's invested from the 1900s, and a lot of that old money is still good money, and I don't think that they ready for a change, honestly.
I need you to understand something, Hugh. And again, I'll expound on this on Sunday as well. Let's just say it happens. Keep in mind, the Denver Broncos, according to some reports, is about to go on sale. They are estimating that team will be sold for over $4 billion. Understand the Denver Broncos, in terms of the league, is probably about middle of the pack. So if a middle of the pack team is worth $4 billion, and you have to have that money cash, this ain't no credit payment you make to the league to buy that team. How many African Americans can afford that?
I don't know too many.
And in the end, if they do, they'll probably have to collaborate, will they not?
They would have to merge with another partner, a really rich person, man. Like when A Rod did the whole situation when he merged with someone else. It's
But
not
see,
no
again, and
home.
understand that, Hugh, when he tried to buy the football team, why didn't it happen, Hugh?
They wasn't going to allow it to happen.
And why is that, Hugh? Because who has to approve the sale of any team to any individual? The league. And who runs the league? Goodell. And who does Goodell work for?
The owners,
And owners are white men.
like
There you go. Because in the end, that means we're going to allow you to come in our circle and be one of us. Understand a lot of old money in the NFL in terms of ownership. Do you honestly think they're gonna let one, two, five, 10 people of color come in the league and change the way they do business?
No, they already set in their ways. You know that won't change.
I don't mean we boycott. I mean we just leave it alone. I feel like a battered spouse in regards to my relationship with the NFL. Honestly, Pride, you should feel like that about all these leagues. And again, not to keep teasing the show, but I have a whole rationale behind it that I really don't want to get into tonight because that's going to take up too much time here. But the long and short of it is the NFL is one of the bigger businesses here in the United States. Now that we start to kind of get away a little bit from COVID and start to concentrate on the other things going on in our country, we starting to get back to those three things that keep our country from being great. That is racism, classism, sexism. Those are our three biggest problems here in the United States. And all that comes in play in this game we know is football. Because if you think it's a problem now, imagine what we're going to have when it comes up where we have a woman and of course there are several of them now in the league that are coaches that is qualified to be an NFL coach. And they yeah, I'm going to go out for this job. And they don't get it. Then what problem we have? Are we ready to boycott them too? Same.
Yeah, because I guarantee you, most times you'll hear a coach, or somebody hype them up to go for some of these interviews, and it just don't happen. But I was really not shocked about it, but it was just like, man, for somebody to actually say, okay, enough is enough, and try to make a stand, that was actually really huge because I didn't think we'd see that, man. And I think Marvin Lewis, what he wanted to say and get his point across, he said when he first was trying to get a job, and he had interviewed for the Carolina Panthers job, and he said they liked him and they brought him in for a second interview. But guess what? He thinking, oh man, I think this is a job that I might have. They basically reiterated to him, hey man, they just hired John Fox on Friday. So they end up calling him back. Hey, how you doing? We want you to come to the facilities. We want to meet you. And that's when Marvin Lewis was like, well, I heard you guys already hired John Fox. What do I need to come down there for? They was like, oh no, we were just filling him out. It's not in stone. And basically they wanted to see him. And when they did, they basically wanted to say, okay, maybe we gave them, two interviews. We thought that it'll be something that we had or something that would be worked out, but we like John Fox better. It's always some stipulation to something that happened to make them say, well, okay, well, at least we gave them two interviews. We didn't have to do that if we didn't want them. It's always something to cover their ass, and that's what it's about, man. And I just think now more of the guys need to focus on, yeah, man, if this is happening, they need to get together and try to do something about it. But it's just like an ongoing battle that they ain't going to win. And it's unfortunate to say, but I definitely believe so.
I
And this is
mean,
going to take a long time to get it together.
when all is said and done, Hugh, this is just one problem in several, okay? The only reason why we're not even having this discussion in regards to that other major sport, that being hockey, is because it's not enough people of color that's even playing in the league right now. But
Yeah.
let there be a few breakout stars in terms of African Americans in hockey. Then we got to start having that discussion. Is it enough black coaches in the NHL? But the long and short of it is we have to remember, people, because oftentimes we get stuck on that fact as African Americans that this is just partly our country. We did make major contributions to it, but when all is said and done, of this 360 some odd million of people that we can account for, we only represent 15% of the country at the most. The majority of our country are people of non-color, Anglo-Saxon, whatever politically correct term you choose to use. And that is part of why we have some of this situation because many of those people who are Anglo-Saxon are the people with the big money, the one percenters. Many of them are represented in that. And they are the ones who ultimately will make these decisions. All right, Pride is now saying that The owners get to vote, and they wouldn't let Trump buy his way in, so we stand no chance. That part. We all know that story about how Trump at one point wanted to buy the Giants, at another point wanted to buy the Buffalo Bills, and was not allowed to do so, and wisely so. We all know about his cachet in the USFL and what happened there. But long story short, the old boy network, as we gotta call it, they have a way that they have done business for hundreds of years, and they're not willing to change that, regardless of the fact that America, and I feel like the majority of Americans are calling for change in regards to how people are dealt with racial.
This one right here, basically, we talked about it and we was going to talk about it yesterday. So let me bring it back to the forefront. Um, yeah, man, I was definitely clinging on just a little bit, man. I definitely wanted my boy to try to win it again, man. I was being greedy. I'm a greedy dude. I wanted that eight. I wanted eight, man. I don't know why I started to feel that way. I got the third one. I was like, man, it'll be good to get the fourth one, man. And I relaxed after the fourth one. I got that fourth one. I said, the hell, I ain't relaxing. I want another one. He got the fifth one. I said, I still ain't satisfied. One more Brady, please. Then when he got that one, guess what? I wanted him to do it again. But when he officially retired, man, it was crazy because Scheffler may have kind of, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with him and Brady down there.
You owe that man an apology.
Who,
You
Scheffler?
and many of y'all other folks, y'all owe Adam Scheffler an apology.
Scheffler, no, not really, because Scheffler shouldn't have put it out there like that, man. Tom wanted to actually tell people that he was retiring, not Adam Scheffler, man. But that's why I have to apologize to that dude, Shefty. But yeah, man, I definitely was like, well, my man's it was the best time than ever right now to go ahead and do it, man. I still feel like he should go out as the MVP. I don't know if they're going to do it or not, but at the same time, man, I know you've been hearing the crazy rumors. I don't know how significant it is or if it's going to really happen, but I've been hearing a lot of trading 12 or the passing the torch, 112 leave, 112 enter. I don't think that's really gonna happen with Aaron Rodgers going to the Bucks. They got a win now team, but at the same time, I don't think he's not going to go anywhere without his boy, his right hand man, Devontae Adams, and that guy gonna have to get paid wherever he go. And I think that they have the team we thought and we heard it out clear with the Denver Broncos, and they said that they got enough to get them two maxes if they go there. How true is that? I'm not sure, but I heard they had some contracts ready for them boys right now. All they have to do is just say the word. We
You
should take them.
realize you realize how much money Tom Brady made last year, right?
Yes.
You know how much money Antonio Brown made, right?
Yeah.
You know how much money Rob Gronkowski made last year, right?
Yep.
The three people ain't gonna be on Tampa Bay next year. That's your cap right there. That affords you Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. It's more than doable. Bottom line is the NFL being what it is, it's already in discussion. Trust me, it's already in rotation. Somebody has already contracted Ron and started to have that talk. Now, that being said, if he already made out the deal in Denver, as several people think that has happened, then it don't matter. In the end, he's going to go to Denver. But the bottom line is, if he's coming back to Green Bay, that deal will be set in the next couple of weeks. If not, then he gone. And that's probably one of the two places he going.
And that's where I'm interested in too, because when we look at it too, it's like not only did we have him in the discussion, I know teams are looking for a huge lift at quarterback, and I know that my man's Russell Wilson out there, man. And I was hearing too, he's definitely not satisfied what happened in Seattle, and he They said it's a slim chance in hell that he'll be back. So when you say stuff like that, facts that he's definitely not going to be back there. I don't know. I think it was a rift between him and Pete Carroll, and I think it was a lot to do with. I don't know if you've seen when he put his 2 cents in at the time when Brady was saying when he first was on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that they had a situation where they were having a conversation, him and Bruce Arians. And Bruce Arians said, "Hey man, I want you to pick the top 3 wide receivers in this draft, and and a guy who just like under the radar, and pick which one you think it would fit in our system and what we do here in Tampa." And when he said that, he basically put that on like Instagram or whatnot. And if I'm not mistaken, that's when like Aaron Rodgers like hit him right back and was like, "Well, see, that's what I'm saying, man. Someone who has faith and give their actual leader of their team the keys to the franchise and let them be in the driver's seat." And I was like, "Oh wow, where is he getting at with that?" Remember when that came out when he made that comment? And then all of a sudden, that's when, he was feeling disgruntled and all the crazy stuff was going on and, OTAs and training camp. And that's what we got to where we were last year with Aaron Rodgers, to where we didn't think that they were going to be able to fix that issue, man. I felt like they put a band aid on the wound. But then and again, I still feel like after they left and went out in the playoffs, man, that wound reopened. And I don't think that they'll be able to do anything to make those wounds heal.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, get your answer, and then tie it all in together. When Thomas Brady made his 8-page Instagram statement and thanked damn near everybody under the sun from his time at Michigan to Tampa Bay, there was some huge omissions made. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Who in particular am I speaking of?
When you talk about Coach Belichick,
And the Patriots, correct.
mm-hmm.
Now
It
that
seemed
is,
like he left him out of that conversation on purpose at first, man. Did you feel that way?
I do, and there's a reason. Let's look at the reason why he left the Patriots in the first place. It's not that they didn't want to pay him, because Kraft definitely was going to pay him.
Yeah,
It's not
absolutely.
that he did not really want to be there, because he did. He wanted to finish his career out in the Patriots, but in the end, there was 2 big blocks. The block one, we all know about the whole Garoppolo situation, and how crazy does that sound right now? Now he's the
Absolutely.
quarterback that everybody wanted to be in a quarterback that don't want to be wanted. And secondly, we have the Belichick thing, where Belichick felt like, I'm the reason this has happened. You might be the GOAT, but I'm the puppeteer. I made you, Pinocchio, and I could do it without you. But now that things have shown that Brady is indeed the GOAT and did not need Belichick, of course he went that way about it. Now, as time goes on, he'll discuss it, I'm sure, next week on the show, because that podcast is definitely going to get more leeway these next couple weeks. They'll ask him, okay, why did you leave the Patriots out? And he'll talk about it or what have you. But in the same token, remember, he did not. He did not, my friends. Thank you, cuz. We working it out. We working it out. But he did not have enough say so in the day-to-day operations over there in New England. That was
Yeah.
Belichick's team. We all know it. We know once he got to Tampa Bay, he definitely had more say so, not only in the offense, but also in the operations thereof, and the personnel decisions. That's why we had AB. AB would never have been a Tampa Bay Buck if not for Tom Brady. Disrespectful Boston. And he needs to remember that. You would not have gotten that ring if not for your boy Thomas. He even let you stay in his house and you spoke so illy of him. I wish me as an owner would hire that fool to be on my squad, but yet and still, it'll happen.
Yeah,
Antonio
you know
Brown will be
that.
on somebody's squad next year. And then there's already that talk that Baltimore all but has already set it all up. But
And
that
what's
being
that about?
said, here's my thing. I think Aaron has that same feeling about his time in Green Bay. You have not given me enough say so. Do you
Yeah,
understand
for
what
real.
I've done for the franchise? Do you not understand? I've seen how y'all do y'all people. Once you feel they have outused their usefulness, a la Brett Favre, I'm not going out like Brett. Either
Man, we could go into
y'all do right by me, or I gotta go.
We could go to a lot of that too, E. Because think about it, man. We could go down on some of the good players who never got that chance to leave and retire in Green Bay. Besides Donald Driver, man, I was surprised because I thought they was gonna cut Donald Driver short at one point, but then Jordy Nelson left on a bad term. I think Randall Cobb only came back because these were things he wanted to keep him satisfied, to keep him.
Antonio Freeman, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, man, it was just crazy, man. But I definitely feel like he's going to do what's best for him.
Howard even.
Man, I forgot all about D. Howard over there.
Yeah, Green Bay a little different. We understand this. But then keep in mind, now that's the whole uniqueness of it. Because remember, all the teams in the NFL have an official owner except for one. That team being the Green Bay Packers, who are, of course, owned by the people of Green Bay.
I don't think things was going to end well there anyway. But I definitely would like to see, when it comes to free agency and everything, man, what can happen with him and Russell Wilson. That'll change a lot of what's going on right now in the NFL, man. And then plus,
we still got that one X factor, though, Hugh. It's one more quarterback you need to throw in that mix.
Oh, I was definitely about to say that, too. And it's really interesting is what's going to happen with that man, because I think, how old is he? 25, 20, maybe 26? Deshaun Watson, man, he's out there, man. And when that guy played, I thought last year, don't get me wrong, he should have been an MVP because he had really damn near nothing. And he put up huge numbers, man. And I fell to the point where my man's J.J. Watt even came out and said, I know you remember when he had that conversation when he said, man, he said, I apologize because we're wasting your time, man. We're wasting your talents and with the Texans, and you should already be in a situation where you winning championships. I'm sorry.
And bottom line, even though Houston sent J.J. Watt where he wanted to go, they did not do right by that man. That man put the organization on his back. He was a Houston legend, especially when you consider what he did for the city of Houston during the time they had the flood. And that's the type of respect you gave him. The Texans should be ashamed of themselves.
That's why they're a tad bit different, man. That's why when we talked about the whole Flores situation, I'm like, I understand the Flores don't want to be there. That's definitely a point taken. Man, if you want, man, well, actually, yeah, we're going to do this right now because I'm ready. We about to head into this quick commercial break right quick.
All right, we're going to hit the commercials. When we come back, what we talking to you?
I'm going to hit you with another Audible, man. I want to talk about women's sports today. I want to get on this topic because I feel like to see this, it really was true to my heart, man, to see that they actually want to bring a championship back where it belongs. And the Seattle Storm, man, I want to talk about them and your input on that team and that franchise.
That actually is a very good, interesting thing to get into, y'all, because the future of the league may very well depend on how they play this. So that being said, let me get into this commercial break. Gonna holler at a couple of our folks here tonight. Network. When we come back, let's go on and talk about some WNBA. Let's do it.
Hello, hello, hello. It's another glorious day, my tea sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comforts together because it's time to dish tea. And you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meech.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech. It's time to dish tea with Big Meech.
Darling.
Behind the Blue Curtain, Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. discretion is advised.
Have you been scrolling Facebook and looking for that quick sports fix? Want a quick peek of what's going on in the latest sports news? Check out Pure to the Game Sports Blog with the sports guru, QD Lee. He'll get you together. Check it out. Follow it on Facebook. Make sure you like it. What's up, everybody? Eric Buckner here. You know Miss EB, Young Easy, Eric Buck, all that good stuff. Anyway, I'm here to kick it with y'all about this little podcast I've been doing. You know, I talk trending topics. I talk about the stuff we as people need to talk about. I talk about some things, actually, that people kind of want to shy away from, because we got to have these discussions, folks. That's how we get better. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, hold on. Yeah, so anyway, you know, I do it Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. You can check it out on Facebook, on YouTube. You know, it's a good show. I say get into it. Yeah, you want to know the name of the show? You said, hold on. Hey, you, get off my lawn. Yeah, anyway, that's the name of the show, by the way. Get off my lawn. Check it out Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. Let me go handle this. All right, y'all, we are back at Gametime Audible. I am the man running the boards, and that's the man with the master plan right there, Hugh Lee. We are back on and popping. What you got for us, Hugh?
Man, you know, that's true to my heart whenever I hear anybody who wants to run it back, man, or want to do something that not a lot of people do, man. They held that franchise, not only that, but the WNBA on their back for a minute, man, because they wasn't really getting the credit that they usually deserve, man. I'm thinking now with all of the stars and the people that are starting to come out, it's starting to emerge and people starting to put them on notice, man. Because remember when I told you when I watched the playoffs, that was some of the best basketball I've seen, men and women. And to see that those three ladies want to come back to the Seattle Storm, who won it in 2018 and 2020, man, I was intrigued, man, because Jewel Lloyd, Breanna Stewart, and Sue Bird, I just feel like, man, that's just the cream of the crop right there, man, to get the ladies to come back and try to run it back, because I know, like we talked about it, man, Sue Bird right now has to be the Brady of the, WNBA. I didn't know she was that old. When I saw that, I said, damn, she's 41? Man, that's incredible, man. And she played 19 seasons, man. And I'm not even trying to be funny or sexist or anything like that. Most times, what's the longevity or the lifespan on women athletes, especially basketball players?
But remember, basically, the life of a WNBA athlete is similar to that of an NBA player. The average career of an NBA player is about 3.5, 4 seasons. Same in the WNBA. And oftentimes, remember, most of these athletes, 5 years after they get done playing, broke as a joke. Now, understand, Sue Bird is kind of Tom Brady-esque in that, yes, she's won a few championships. Yes, of course, we all know her lineages from the factory, as Hugh calls it, the great UConn Lady Huskies. Shout out to them beating Creighton yesterday. I see I snuck Paige in there. Paige gonna be back soon, y'all. And when she come back, it's on. But anyway, the thing is, she is also, for all intents and purposes, one of the great ambassadors of the league right now. Her, of course, the great white mamba herself, Diana Taurasi, and of course, my homegirl Candace Parker, who is just as good broadcasting as she is in the WNBA. Bottom line, I can see a TNT desk with her, Shaq, get rid of Kenny, you throw Draymond in there, and keep your boy, that doggone Charles Barkley. That's going to be a show for years to come with them four. But all that said, I definitely like the direction that the Seattle Storm is going. Understand they also have a pretty decent bench there in Seattle as well. If not for COVID protocols and injuries to Stewart last year, they probably would have went back to back, to be honest. So I
Yeah.
definitely like that they're gonna have one more shot at it. And that being said, it's interesting to see how they play it from this point forward in the WNBA because you got a few player movements going on there. So it's going to be some new looking lineups next year. But ultimately, I think part of what might help the WNBA, outside of expansion, of course, is that if they make the rules to where you have a less or smaller time period between now and free agency. In other words, that rookie contract be like a 3-year contract instead of the 5 and the 4 like they have in some of these other leagues. So that once you get in there for a few years, you can pop off and be on another team, and then the super team is created. Because right now, Seattle is basically the league's version of a super team. You got them, you got Phoenix with Tarazi, and of course the big girl Brittany Griner, and then you got Chicago. They're gonna upgrade. So those will be the teams that lead this next decade of WNBA basketball, and they need more people to stand out in the league because that will be one of the keys to keeping the league and growing the league from there.
Yeah, because they need to grow and have a solid future, man. Because most of the women, the professionals who's been in there and who's shed their blood, sweat, and tears are going to be gone soon. It's like when you look at it, you like they're not no spring chickens, man. And they put in and they did their dues. They put WNBA, made it to what it is today, and then they're going to pass the torch to a lot of the new and young talent, man. So I want to see who's going to step up, and take these women place because it's another team that got to step up in this whole situation. And I'm just really interested in seeing how this is going to play out, man, because I definitely enjoy watching a lot of those teams, man. In Chicago, man, that was a Cinderella story. You couldn't put it any other way. You couldn't tell me that, the way that played out, did you expect it that, E? I know I sure as hell didn't.
No, basically, what Candace Parker pulled off is pretty much what your boy Dwayne Wade tried to do when he went back to Chicago. It just didn't work out for him. It just didn't work out for him.
She went back home and made it happen. That team fought, man. It wasn't like they had no quit in them. And I think a lot of that was because of Candace. They wanted to basically make sure Candace won in her hometown. And she felt the same way. It was likewise. You see what Pride said? That's that kind of respect I get. I started this Texas.
Yeah. Pride always with his hip hop references. Doggone your Pride. But yeah, like I said, I know WNBA necessarily something you guys get into like that, but don't worry, we're here to help you. We will continue to promote women's sports not only on this show, but on the other platforms within the Nighthawk Network as well. It is very important that we start to have some type of equality with all these things. That's why it's important for me particularly to say, yeah, we got to get these women's sports and take it to the next level.
They need to, because right now it's like I just feel like, and I feel ashamed to say this because I do like the LFL, but I feel like the issue is I've talked to women about it before, and when they said what they said, I couldn't even really argue with them. They were like, well, Hugh, yeah, I understand you like the players, some of them, and you study them, but they like still Hugh is degrading. And I said, what's so degrading about it? Then I had to think about it. They got on those like little training bra thingies, the sport draw.
You know what it is.
And and it was just to the point where I don't think that's why people will take it as serious, man. But yeah, man, I just feel like it needs to be advertised more, not just on the basketball platform, man, and just hopefully more people tune in, because I want to start getting more tuned in to watching the college version, which I have watched it before in the past and kind of slipped up on it. But, I glanced in on rankings too, man. And I've always thought South Carolina was a good team, but man, it was like whoever beat those women, man, I tilt my hat off to you, man, because it looked like they were going to pull one of those UConns don't lose the whole season situation, man. So it's some really tough teams out here, the Stanfords, and it's man. I was surprised
And
when we
shout
were
out to
talking.
them University of Michigan Wolverines. After
I
they
didn't know they
top
was
10
ranked number
win this
7.
week, they'll probably
I
be in
didn't know
that
they
top
was ranked
five.
so high.
They'll probably be in the top 5 next week. So yes, definitely some good play going out. You got to look out for Oregon. They up and coming. They had a younger squad since they lost Sinescu and some of the other people that went to the WNBA the last couple seasons, but they starting to come back up now. The interesting thing about women's college basketball, and some of the other sports, the Pac-12 ain't been doing quite so good these last few years. But
Yeah.
definitely some of the better teams in women's basketball come out of that Pac-12 between Oregon and Stanford and UCLA, for example.
Yeah, man, just really want to step my game up on that a lot more, man, just to see what's going on, kind of look in on their schedules. Because I know when I was watching, man, when I was watching real hard, man, the Lady Vols was like the cream of the crop, man. And it was like nobody, it was them and everybody else.
And I definitely want to give kudos to the NCAA, who has started to allow teams to make up some of these games that they're losing due to COVID. They're giving them a little bit more leeway in regards to their schedule. Now, granted, that robbed us of a South Carolina UConn matchup later on this season because they both decided to pick up one of the games they lost in division as opposed to play one another. But hopefully, if everything works out right, we'll get to see them play in the Final Four. And this time, perhaps UConn will be a little better prepared than they were when they first played earlier in the year. Because keep in mind, UConn has been having problems with the injury bug and, of course, COVID all season long. So that's definitely affected them, especially when the number one player in the country, by far, in my opinion, one Paige Beckers, has not played since basically December due to that knee injury. So I do hope that she continues to progress and we see her sometime before the end of the month. Because AZ Fudd for UConn, y'all might want to tune in on this kid here. Bottom line is, if she keeps playing like she's been playing these last few games, next season, we're going to start to see UConn's version of the Splash Brothers. Between her and Paige, they about to get it in.
Yeah, I want to talk about something, too, that I know that we've been talking about recently, and we wanted to at least get to the bottom of it. We was getting tired of the lockdown and what was going on in the major leagues right now. We're huge baseball fans, and I don't think that baseball get as much respect as it deserves on that platform, man. We old school baseball fans, and I feel like that needs to come to the forefront too, man. It's like their talent is second to none, man. And now they're saying that they want to get like so people involved now because they're saying on both sides, the MLBPA and the owners, and trying to get all that together and try to make some type of deal is not happening right now. So they got a federal mediation coalition service, and they're basically trying to get them together and sit both sides down and try to meet halfway to the point to where they can discuss and get something that be necessarily fair for both sides, so we can get the baseball season going. Because in 2 weeks, a lot of the stuff's supposed to have been kicking off, man. So now I'm actually glad that it's moving in this direction, because I feel like they'd have wasted enough time, man. They need to figure out something. I think they want to more or less get to the point where some of these players, one of the main things I heard is not really agreed upon is like they don't want to be stuck in these long contracts, these long-term contracts. Like, okay, you give me $400 million and I got to be on your team for like 12, 13 years. I think they want more shorter contracts with more money up front and give them freedom while they're still young to go out there and hit the free agency like maybe twice at least. And I'm thinking right now the league didn't want to do that. They wanted to kind of keep it the way it was, like how Alex Rodriguez down here left the Yankees at 40, man, and they had him at all this heyday. And I guess they're like, now, man, we want to get at least to where the kids can at least get a 5-6 year, no more than a 7-year contract, and still go back out there on the market. and make themselves valuable, and at least try to get another huge contract from a team. And I don't think that the owners really appreciated that, and they didn't like it, and the players like it too. Y'all start to reach out to us and meet us halfway. I don't think this is going to work. And that's initially one of the reasons in the discussions where they actually started this lockdown.
I'm gonna simplify it for y'all, okay? Athletes tend to hang with other athletes, okay? They all circulate in the same type of circles. And basically, who hangs with athletes? You got your actors that hang with athletes. You got your singers, songwriters, those type of folks hang with your athletes. They all talk. And of course, they talk business. Bottom line, in Hollywood right now, they paying per movie, okay? It was a time in Hollywood where basically your actors would work for a certain movie house, and they had like a 5 or 10 movie deal for that movie house, and they couldn't go do movies nowhere else. Now they got it to where actors not only can get paid per movie, but get a cut of said movie. That's part of who baseball players talk to. The other part that they talking to is their basketball counterparts. They seeing how they getting the supermax money, okay? The supermax money where basically you getting broke off about 40 mil a season. You only in that contract for 5 years. You get that player option in year 3, and you could be out like LeBron. You see what I'm saying? Or like AD, how they set it up. And now here they are, 5 years in. They already got one supermax deal. Now it's ready. They only 30. They get another supermax deal. Baseball players want it the same way. Keep in mind, part of the problem that they negotiate is the fact that baseball players don't like the fact that when they're ready to come up to the majors, they make them wait that 2 or 3 weeks so they can keep them for as long as they could possibly keep them before they have to pay them. That's BS, okay? Understand. Chris Bryant, for example. Hell, Turkelson for the Tigers now. Riley Green for the Tigers. They were ready to play last year, okay? They went from AA, smash. Went to AAA, smash. They should have got brought up in September. The only reason why they didn't is because that starts that clock to where, okay, if they play part of this year, then next year, then 3 years later, we got to try to sign them. Bottom line is they want more say-so in that, to where you play your 3-4 years, time to get paid. If I'm good enough, pay me, and pay me now. You ain't got to worry about paying me when I'm 39 or 40. We don't have no more Miggy deals. We get that 4-year, 120 mil. Let's go. I don't see what the problem is. Baseball can afford that for their good, superior play. Remember, the average baseball player make $1.5 million.
Man, I heard they damn water boys making like, $75,000 a year. Come on, man.
The equipment manager makes 6 figures. That's some of them things. I mean, come on.
That's crazy. And just imagine, they act like they can't give that out to the players, man. And they, like you said, they just want to keep them, secured, and before they have to pay them their money. Right. Hey, what's going on, Ro?
And I definitely want to shout out Ro and a few of the other people in the Nighthawk Network that recently had birthdays. We got Pride in the building. He recently had a birthday. Today, we got a couple very important people in the Nighthawk Network. Got to send a shout out to Pastor Tony, who probably is not checking out the show this evening because he is celebrating his birthday. So happy birthday to you, sir. And of course, got to send a shout out to my cousin, Dr. Marla, who is also celebrating her birthday today. Happy birthday to her.
Happy birthday.
And then, of course, TC, one of our followers here in the network. She had a birthday recently as well. Shout out to you, TC. Happy belated to you as well. And I also want to send a shout out to my boy, Jomo King, one of my partners that I went to school with. Shout out Cody High School. Happy belated birthday to you as well, sir.
Hey, man, I think we're going to go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to hit this next commercial break, and we got to get into one of the topics that we talked about, man, and I hope Pride's still in the room, man, and that's funny. He said too, man, he right on time. I want to talk about a lot of the criticism, and which is rightfully so, that this man's been getting, because when you and me talk, I read that article like right before we got on the phone, and I was heated. I said, why waste your time with someone who doesn't want to be with you? That's just like me trying to make a marriage or relationship work, and clearly the woman doesn't have any interest in me. But we're going to get on that topic, and that's going to be basically focusing on the 76ers and yours truly, Ben Simmons. And we will do that after these commercial breaks.
All right, so yeah, not only do I want to talk Ben Simmons, but remember the trade deadline is next week, so we definitely want to talk about some of the other big names that's going to come up in that conversation.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
so let's definitely do that after we get back. Shout out to my guy D Ford. Also, shout out to Mama Ford. I'm glad you're still hanging in there, sister. You keep fighting, stay strong, baby.
Oh, man.
Black on, get into it. Black on, look at that David Ford right there, that's his thing. Black on, he don't know Tom. Look at that David Ford, that's his thing. He don't know Tom. Yeah. Yes! Oh, here we go. Oh, I can't see the demons. I can't see the demons, but I can see the light.
We are creating black luxury across this country.
All right, y'all, we are back. Gametime Audible in the building. I'm your boy E-Buck the Nighthawk, and that, of course, is the man with the master plan himself, Hugh Lee, the sports guru. Back to get it in with y'all. What's going on, Hugh? What we got next, baby?
I wanted to talk about this whole situation with Ben Simmons, man. It's been really weird to me. And when we talked about it, man, I just was like, what the hell is going on? It really don't make sense to me. It didn't really make sense to you. We feel like, why hold on to this man? They should just definitely let him seek a trade and go somewhere else. I've been hearing rumors. I know you and Pride probably heard the same things. I know Pride, truly a Joel Embiid fan, which I gotta admit this year he's put that team on his back, and you didn't even really notice and didn't give a damn that Ben Simmons wasn't there. And I consider him right now on the hat before the All-Star break the league MVP. But it's just weird to me how Ben Simmons is still around. He's in the facilities and he's doing everything as far as pickup games with the players and, playing basketball. But when it comes to the actual sport and him being out there with the team and performing on a regular basis, he does not want to do that. He's saying he's not mentally prepared to do it. And not only is he saying he's not mentally prepared to play, he's saying he's just not mentally prepared to play, especially with the Philadelphia 76ers. So he's saying he's not ready to play and he doesn't want to play with that team in particular. So it's like them keeping him around, to me, is a flat out joke.
I mean, bottom line, as you read the article, and you can find it on ESPN, by the way, this article we're referring to. Basically, they talk about what Ben's been doing during the season. And it's not what you think. Basically, some of you figure that Ben is basically on a beach somewhere just chilling while the Sixers are waiting to decide whether or not they're going to trade him. That has not been the case. Ben has been actually practicing at different locations around the city of Philadelphia. Unfortunately, what happens is when people find out that he's in this location playing pickup ball or what have you, that tends to make it a big spectacle, and that's not what he wants. You would think that Ben is out here just being Ben, trying to live a superstar life. In actuality, Ben is trying to keep everything low key. He's been going to Sixers practice. He basically participates just enough to get credit for participation, and that is it. So yes, he's been in some of the practices and watched them run the drills and whatnot. He does not have been an active participant. He's been getting his physicals and taking all his necessary tests for COVID. He has decided since the time he has not started playing to actually get the COVID shot. So kudos for him for that. But all in all, he is basically trying to be the good soldier, awaiting a time where they go ahead and let him go. Now at this point, according to his representation, Ben ain't too much caring where he go. He just don't want to be there. Plain and simple. Now, bottom line, you do have to understand, Ben Simmons, that at some point, regardless of what team you go to, the day will come where you will have to show up in Philly and play ball. And when that happens, y'all remember what happened when LeBron first came back to Cleveland? Y'all remember what happened when KD first came back to OKC? That ain't gonna be nothing compared to what happens to Ben when he comes to Philly after they didn't trade him. For as bad as he think it's gonna be now if he pop back up, oh buddy. And let it be for a team like the Celtics, which will actually be a good team to trade him to, by the way. Let that be the team you get traded to. Oh, it's gonna get ugly.
Yeah, because what I see too, what teams want Ben. You know what? He probably don't have like the purest jumper, or he's not consistent whatsoever. But at the same
We
time,
don't know that, Hugh. Here's the thing. It's been a whole half a season. They say they've been playing pickup ball with former NBA players like Deion Waiters and such. You got to think that's what he's working on.
yeah,
He might have a hell of a jumper once he pop back up. And wouldn't that be the irony of all ironies?
yeah.
It could happen. He might have actually listened to some of the old heads and said, Ben, just go work on your damn game.
Yeah, and you know that's what he definitely needed to do. What was weird to me though is the whole time, like in the summer, when you know most people working on their games, it just seemed like he came back as mediocre as ever. And what really disappointed me was when how they lost to Atlanta. It wasn't because of what happened.
For real, pride. That's how you feel about my man's Ben. But yeah, actually, that Sacramento has come up with a few articles that's having interest for Ben. But bottom line is, I think they basically want a king's ransom from Sacktown. They not only want that number one pick, but they probably want their best player, your boy coming out of Kentucky, whose name is slipping my mind at the moment. Y'all know I'm getting old, y'all. Because that definitely would be a point guard that would be very helpful to that team. But no, I wouldn't do it if I was Sacramento. Trade him to the WNBA. Maybe he will play better. Oh, roll. Oh, y'all clowning Bean.
Working on this jumper in NBA 2K. That's what I was saying, man. I thought you was really joking when you said he was working on that jumper, man, and you know he might be just fire, man. I knew that wasn't the case.
Oh wow! Now, with all due respect, Pride, you know it's been other people in the NBA. Look at you, that have actually not had no great jumper and still turned out to be Hall of Fame type players. Lord knows, Shaq didn't never had no jumper. We know that. We know people like Mutombo didn't have no jumper. Who else? Sean Kemp man had a piece of a jumper at best. Ben is not the only person. Hell, Magic couldn't really shoot it to them last few years. Magic them first few years, he was Showtime, taking it to the rim and all that. He had no jumper. Come on now.
The Kemp perimeter game was second to none at the time, though. He was way before his time doing some of the stuff he was doing in the perimeter.
Right.
It was, we just like, man, work on a mini hook shot or something. At least Shaq had a mini hook. At least Shaq hooked up with, when he know his game wasn't the greatest, he went to Akeem Olajuwon and he went to some of the greats. You've seen it in his game. You can look at from when Shaq first came and to where he was when he went to the Lakers, you was like, man, that guy really worked on his game, man. You've seen the improvements in a lot of the players who want to be great. Ben, is an all-star when it comes to defense and all, but when it comes to all around, he's not great, man. And Shaq and Barkley, they really go hard at that man. And I just feel like he deserves some of that criticism, man. The way he
Bottom
carried
line is maybe what the next team that gets him should consider is, look, we don't need you to run the point, okay? You stay in the post. As a post player, I think Ben Simmons could be dominant, okay? He could be a very good 4 or a very tall 3 at best, where he ain't got to shoot a lot of jumpers. He could basically stay in the perimeter, stay in that short game, and do that. But you at least got to have the threat of a 3-point shot in today's NBA in order to that. And that we have seen him actually shoot in games 3-point shots that actually look pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
He's capable. He got to want to. He got to get out his own head with it. That's
because when you to the point where you so scared you got an easy layup or a dunk and you consider to pass to somebody, like, damn, a team got you that shook, man, he just need to focus on his mentals, man. Not just the physical talent, but he got to mess with his mentals too, because I don't even think his mentals are up to par, man. And it's really sad because he got a lot of talent, man. And if a lot of us had that opportunity, man, we wouldn't be squandering it like he's doing.
Well, what if we find out once he comes out and really speaks about it that it's an anxiety issue, and the reason why he don't shoot the jumpers because he has anxiety with being on the court and whatnot, a la Simone Biles or something like that. At that point, do we give him a pass?
Nah, man, because why is it taking him so long? That'd just seem like a cop-out to me if he all of a sudden say that, man. Like, why don't you just say that in the first place? And I think that we'll probably gave him his flowers then. But you can't up and say that now, man, because it seems like it's excuses piled on top of excuses, man.
I think it's because he dated one of them Kardashian children. He ain't been right since.
They're succubus.
But no, we got to definitely talk about some of these other possible trade people. Lord
Yes.
knows the whole Boston situation with Tatum and Brown. We know about that. We all know about what's being talked about in terms of Portland with our guy Dame Dollar and his boy McCullough. That's definitely people that are on that trade block right now. What's some of these other teams you think it might make a move, Hugh?
We've talked about this before too, man. We think Sabonis is going to be gone, man. I think that what's my man's name? Is it Miles Turner? I think he would have been gone. Is he still injured? Because Turner will be a good piece too, man. Big Ben and Rodman too.
You so highly disrespectful.
I'm a little scared to take money.
I mean, I'm glad the Nighthawk Network don't stretch out to Australia right now, because I'm sure they would feel some type of way about some of these semi-racist comments you're making, sir. Hold on. Look who checked in. Big Meech in the building. Greetings, all. Big Meech is on the lawn at this time. Let me listen in before I add another quarter. You got it. You got it.
Big Meech, what's good?
What's happening? But yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Hugh.
There's a lot of exciting stuff going on, man. I would like to see Sabonis on another team because I feel like they holding him back, man. I believe I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers go after like point guard, but I'm thinking right now, I'm sorry, Tom. I don't know if that's gonna happen because that bad contract, they might be stuck with that clown.
Westbrook ain't going nowhere.
I think his teams is gonna strengthen their core too, man. I think Milwaukee still needs to do something, man. I'm not saying they're a bad team, but I think that they need to get them a good small or get somebody off of the bench. I think PJ Tucker was a hell of a addition to them, man, when they got him, because they got the enforcer they needed, and that's what made them strong in the playoffs when they finally won that title, man. That was perfect timing. We don't really need no really big, huge superstar names. We just need some guys who are good contributors to their team, man, hard workers, man. It's a lot of guys that's out there on the market. I still feel like DeMarcus Cousins can go somewhere and plug and play and still, give some worthy good minutes. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing what teams gonna do, especially Boston, because we were talking about that. We said Boston is in need for a big man, and I want to know what big man is out there. Remember last year they were like this close, man, to getting John Collins. I didn't even know who John Collins was at first, and I said Atlanta kept him. Why didn't they, go after some trades or get some picks from him? And then when I seen that guy play, man, I said this guy is amazing, man. I definitely feel like it's a possibility he might be out there on the market. So yeah, I'm just interested in seeing what teams going to do to strengthen their core, because right now I still feel like Golden State and Phoenix is in the run over there, and everybody else is obsolete. But then the East, I want to know what the East is going to do to make themselves stronger, because it's unfortunate too. But Kyrie's only playing road games. KD was hurt. James Harden just really got back in the fold. And yeah, I want to know what they're going to do between them and the Milwaukee Bucks, because there's some teams out there who need to strengthen their core. The Celtics have been playing much better, but I still feel like 2-3 games over 500 for them is not only not necessary, but it's still a letdown. It's usually like finals or bust for them, but they're never making it there, unfortunately. And I feel like when they got rid of Gordon Hayward, and things didn't work out with him there, and they got rid of Scary Terry and a lot of those pieces, man. Just imagine how strong they would still be if they kept Gordon and if they kept Scary Terry, man. Terry Rozier. That'd be amazing, because those guys, think about it, man. They went over there to the Charlotte Hornets, and that's one of the most fun teams to watch in NBA period, man. Plus with that kid over there, man, the ball kid. Oh man, they look good over there, man. LaMelo is, man. Hey, everything is advertised for all the people who hated on that kid because of his father, man. Y'all should be giving LeVar Ball a lot more credit than he deserved, man. Because Lonzo's a really good, disciplined player. LaMelo's a beast. Eventually, I'm hoping the other middle son get in the league, man. I feel like he deserves a chance.
He's still in the D League right now, Leangelo. So yeah. There's that
Man,
possibility.
I definitely want to see them succeed, man. And yeah, man, I just really felt like that was a huge mistake with Boston, man, for letting those guys walk, man. And I still feel like they're not getting the productivity that they need, because when you have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum on the court, a lot of times it felt like when we was hearing all the rumors that was going on with Marcus Smart, saying that they're selfish players and they don't want to give up the ball because they feel like they need to put the team on their back. I just feel like, do you feel like it'd be a veteran president or someone who can basically, be the mediator with that team that actually help them break through that shell, or to kind of put in a little order?
They actually have a couple of those people on the team. They just don't listen to them. You got
Al
Marcus
Horford.
and you got Al Horford also.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two veteran presidents that they definitely should listen to. But apparently they don't. They think they're that guy. And when they both think they're that guy, that's when they have the problems. But prize question is, there's rumors that Harden has been groomed by Philly. Remember, Philly wanted Harden in the first place before he went to New Jersey. And originally they had a deal to send Ben to possibly Houston. But it fell through at the last minute.
Yeah, because I remember that deal was good as done, and then that's when they was like, you could get anybody else besides Joel and Ben, and that's when they was like, that wasn't part of the deal, and that deal just actually went to pieces.
Well, okay, let me throw another name in the mix. Since we hear local in Detroit, a lot of people have been talking about Jeremy Grant being a possible trade partner for somebody.
Definitely.
Think about that, Hugh.
I heard a lot of teams looking for him, man. That kid plays spectacular, man, and I just feel like I understand when they brought him here, because it was the Thunder president and owner, and he wanted to give that guy an opportunity to play, because he wasn't being able to play with some of the talent they had on the team. He do get a little player time, but it wasn't enough. And that guy going to a team, man, damn, like just imagine if he went to the Celtics or to one of those type of teams, man. He's explosive. He can score points on a regular, and he's a good skill player, man. So wherever he go in a mix, if it's going to be a competitor, man, watch out, man. Lord knows if he went to Charlotte, man, how scary that young team would be. But you know why?
I know one thing. I go ahead and get them Grant if they give us Tatum, and they can have our draft pick too. I ain't mad at that deal.
You know what else team I was thinking about, man, that I think that he would shine with, and I thought about it, and I was like, well, man, I think that he would do wonders with that team, man. Like, say for instance, if he went over there to like Memphis, man, how do you feel about that?
I wouldn't listen to Al Horford either. At least not until he starts jumping for rebounds and 3-pointers. Wow, you were rough on Pride, but now your thoughts on Memphis? Memphis definitely is one of the X Factor teams that a lot of people are sleeping on. Keep in mind they are in the top 4 presently in the West. And the thing is, John Morant, after he came back from that injury, at times he looks dominant. Okay, he looks like he could basically be the next Russell Westbrook in terms of being that instant triple double every night. The only difference is, unlike Westbrook, he actually legitimately has a jumper that is consistent. So that being said, I just think Memphis needs a little bit more depth, and they probably could use another veteran presence on that squad. But if I'm them, I'm not making no major deals this year. I'm basically riding with what we got and see how far that gets us in the playoffs. And then next year in the offseason, look to add on to that squad.
They still got Justice Winslow, don't they?
That is correct.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, they need to keep that young nucleus, though. And that's one thing I'd be afraid of. Like I said, man, I wouldn't want like a Jeremy Grant to go over there and they get rid of a player. Memphis is looking incredible. I would hate to see them in the playoffs. Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. Especially if they don't make it like last year, they actually legitimately make it in the playoffs and don't have to do the play-in. That's definitely going to make them dangerous.
I hope they quit that playing crap.
Now, why do you not prefer the playing game in the NBA, sir?
I just feel like, man, most times when you do, it depends on who it is, man, because some of those games was crazy too. Because remember, when it came to the play-in and Phoenix didn't lose a game and they still couldn't get in the playoffs, man. They need to fix some of that. That's what I mean.
Understand, we're about to have a Super Bowl in a couple of weeks, and one of the teams, that was Cincinnati Bengals, in essence was one of the playing people. So make it make sense.
We talking about the NFL. We talking about two different sports, E.
I understand that. But again, Tampa Bay last year, they basically was a playing team that made it all the way to the championship. I mean, it works. These sports kind of mimic each other in terms of what they attempt to do. So that's why the NBA went this route, because they seen how well it worked in the NFL and MLB.
Spike upset players like LeBron and the players who don't want to do those games.
Well, LeBron, I'm sorry, Kobe kind of hit y'all last year. Kobe is the expert in all of this. Yeah,
he felt like that was one of the reasons why they wasn't at the top of their game too. But I definitely feel where you're coming from. I feel like even when I think you actually was more excited with baseball too, E. Don't get me wrong. That play-in was pretty good. Those games were super excited, and they had that already. We were already in a playoffs atmosphere. So yeah, I definitely understand that. And it's like, and then who cares what I think, E? Who are the ones who are making these wild card games and things like that necessary? The owners. I don't got that owner type money, so I bet you they can care less what I'm saying on the show.
Right, because
whatever works for you.
All these franchises are worth multiple billions of dollars, people. And in the end, there's not many people that look like us can afford those type of dollars to buy their way in.
Yeah, man, I'm definitely interested in what's going to happen with the All-Star break, man.
Exactly, Brian. Exactly. Everybody loves the playing concept until it's their team on the losing end. Yep. Ask Buffalo about that one.
Not the Bills.
Yes, the Bills.
You think they got to work on their playoff? I don't even want to really get into that, man, but I definitely want to just get a yay or nay from you on this while we're on that right now. Do you think that they need to work on the overtime rule?
I do not.
Like, get the actual ball before you decide?
I hate that baseball has adapted the overtime rules that they have, where you start out with a man on second base and all
That's
that.
crazy.
That's cool. Bottom line, next team to score win. Period.
Yeah, you can't be mad. And then the thing is,
If
like you
anything, I
said,
say get rid of the next team to score the touchdown win. I say next team that scored period win. So if you score a field goal, you score a safety, whatever the next score is, that team win. Period.
because whoever gets mad at that concept too, what I've noticed is when Kansas City got the tails, everybody thought it was over. Cincinnati said not so fast. I've never seen a clutch moment like that where my man's Patrick Mahomes get rushed, throw a ill-advised pass and got picked. And then that's when they went down, and then they kicker, man, he got ice in his hands from the big one.
As I looked at that play over and over again, I can't say that was an ill-advised pass, Hugh. It's a pass that he done made before several times. It just this time it hit him on the hand, popped up in the air, and that. It ain't like he threw it straight to old boy. It hit off the hands. It's one of those unfortunate interceptions that happens, particularly when you're a quarterback with a live arm.
Do you think that people are starting to adapt to the Patrick Mahomes in his video game type of play?
They're going to adapt to all these magnanimous players like that eventually. They're going to get used to Herbert. They're going to get used to Lamar Jackson. I think they already are to a degree.
Pretty much.
Every time Lamar gets hurt, that's going to be somebody else that's going to encourage him. You got to stop playing like that. You're not Michael Vick. You Lamar Jackson. Stay in the pocket, move around, and score that way. Stop all the running.
I want to get with you on another topic, E-Man, football related, but this is in college. How do you, I know we talked about the transfer portals and all, but how do you feel about the NIL, man? Because I know what surprised me about that is I'm like, damn, I'm like, and like Lane Kiffin is mad. I'm like, are y'all SEC teams? Why are y'all so, man? Especially Nick Saban, like, man, that's calling the tea kettle black.
Now, you got to understand, when it comes to NIL, we talking about the name and likenesses, okay? In other words, remember, now people can come on teams and they can make money outside of them just playing college football. And it's a variety of different ways that can work this out, okay? Because of anything, you should be more concerned about what your boy Charlie Batch tried to do a few weeks ago when he basically told Caleb, we'll pay you that $1 million if you come play for Eastern for a season. Now, in the end, don't be mad at Charlie Batch. It was a smart move on his part, okay? It really was.
Can't be mad at Batch on that.
He just didn't have enough cachet. Understand, we make that 1 million, 10 million, somebody eventually going to take that bait. And this is what we're looking at now. Understand the NCAA as a whole, they love it, okay? They love that it's going this way because with all this movement around here, they kind of thinking we should have made it like this years ago. Because
even
remember,
some of the powerhouse teams.
We talking about the NIL in addition to the transfer portal where now you ain't got to wait a year. You just go and jump right on that team and get to playing. In some cases, that very same season. So the problem that, of course, Saban and Kiffin has is that Kiffin's there in Mississippi and Saban's there in Alabama. Now, Alabama's the factory and all of that, but in the end, this don't have nothing to do with the program. It has to do with the program boosters. And guess what? Everything's bigger in Texas, even the boosters. So now we look at it, and who has one of the top recruiting classes in the country all of a sudden? Texas A&M. And why do they have that big recruiting class? People are saying because they got the big recruiting dollars. They tell these kids that come down here and work for this car dealership, and boom, 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 $2 million. And you ain't got to play that hard. Hell yeah, I'm going to Texas A&M, at least for that one season to see what's good. Now,
how did you feel
Alabama
about
and Michigan and team Ohio State? They all had good recruiting classes because in the end, these are the top football schools in America. And bottom line is, if you're a top recruit, you want to go there because you want the exposure and you want to be playing for a team that's going to get you into the pros a lot quicker and at a higher draft level. So, yeah, they still going to get their share of recruits. But bottom line is, some of these lesser teams that got the big deal donors and whatnot, guess what? They got to start being in the mix.
Okay, E-Man, do you feel like it was a distraction with the Jim Harbaugh situation? He had two meetings with the Vikings, and then he ended up finally deciding, yeah, man, I'm about to go ahead and I'm about to stop all the noise and say I'm going to stay in Michigan and there won't be any other distractions like that. But if you feel that way, why would you have the second interview with the Vikings? That was a hell of a distraction. That probably could have cost them too. It was too close to signing day for a lot of these kids. And for you to go out and do that and have your second meeting, kids probably thought that he was good as gone, man. And that's not good for business.
Okay, you got to give me a few minutes on this one, Hugh. I've been waiting for you to bring this up all damn show. Now, y'all all know Michigan is my squad, and I've been go blue for life since a little bitty boy. Here's my thing on this subject. Y'all been clowning my man Jim Harbaugh for years. For years, it's been, oh, yeah, Jim good, but he can't win the big one. He can't beat that damn team down south. He can't beat them Sparties. He can't get it done. And he had to deal with this distraction in his life for years. Not this year. Yeah, he didn't beat Sparty, but he did beat Ohio State. He did win the Big Ten championship and go to the playoffs. He is now in the driver's seat. Remember, they cut this man's salary in half, okay? They made him work on incentives. You be a damn fool not to say and feel some type of way like, well, see what I did now? Oh, now y'all funny style. Yeah, I'm going to go see what's up with the NFL. One, my brother there. I can't let my brother outdo me. Damn that. Two, am I going to listen to these people? Hell yeah. And I'm going to tell you now why I didn't work in Minnesota. One, they Minnesota. Ain't nobody trying to play there for real. Minnesota, it's cold. Ain't much going on in Minnesota unless you over there by Prince House. So yeah, I'm going to a team like Minnesota. I need to have all the power. Because remember, as a college football coach with his type of cliche, he running things at UM. UM, sorry, but it is a football school. And bottom line is, if you Jim Harbaugh on that campus, it's basically campus president, campus AD, Jim, everybody else. Basically, Juwan right under him, and then so on and so forth. So in terms of the power you have on campus as Jim Harbaugh in the Big Ten, where basically you on TV as much as Duke at times, based on what you're talking about, yeah, you got to have that similar energy in the NFL. So yeah, that's why they went and talked, and they basically like, well, Jim, yeah, we think you'd be a good coach and all that. Or you want to be GM too? I don't know about all that there. Yeah, I don't think we could do all that. I got to go see you. In the meanwhile, of course, that works out for him at Michigan. Because it's like, Jim, please don't go. Who we going to replace you with? Oh, my God, please stay. You just started doing good. So, yeah, toward the middle. Because he didn't have that dude down there, ESPN, you know what I'm talking about? The country dude, SC Southern dude, you know what I'm talking about? He been on his head for years. You had people like Jim Rome and all them talking bad on Harbaugh. Now he got the job done, and he handling business, and now look like he got the good version of the factory going on. He on his head. Damn all that. Yeah, I played it like that. And he allowed these things not to do it again. I would every year when I'm not getting the proper respect, guess what? I'm going to see what the NFL talking about this year. And if it needs to be to where every year I make y'all have to rethink my deal, then so be it. The bottom line is he is better for Michigan with him being there than him not being there, okay? Because some kids, when he walk in that room and he say, I'm him and Bo was my coach and all of that, that has a lot more cliche than whoever else I was thinking about making the coach instead of him. So I promise you right now, I can't think of who else would have been able to take his spot and still have Michigan on the road at this point.
Yeah, because I definitely thought that that whole situation was definitely leverage in Harbaugh's part.
And it should have been.
He deserved to have better acquaintance and them for to treat him fairly. Like you said, after
He did what
everything
you
he
wanted
did.
him to do except win that national championship. Put some respect on his name and put some more money in his pockets.
That's basically all they wanted, and now they finally got a taste of it. Just imagine, man. He could definitely do it, man. He got the talent over there, and I just feel like they just need to move forward with him, man. Because if he did leave, who they was going to replace him with?
And bottom line, we understand they didn't play your boy Chuck over there at MSU a boatload of money, but guess what? He deserved more than Tucker. Yes, I said it, Sparty. Yes, I said it. He should be the third highest paid coach in the league behind your boy at Clemson, and of course, the man running the factory over there, Nick Saban.
How do you feel about one of the coaching names finally came up, man, and who had interest in the team? Do you really think that it's just they trying to pull the rule stuff again, or you think that it's a legitimate chance that Eric Bieniemy can go over to the New Orleans Saints and be their new head coach?
Eric Bieniemy lost his chance to be a head coach the day my man filed that injunction with the NFL. Understand, Eric Bieniemy been going on these interviews for the last 5 years, okay? They came up with bucket, squat, nothing, nada. And that time, over half the teams in the league that looked for a coach, he didn't supposedly interview in fairness and did not get the job. Now, again, I'm going to talk about it more on the show Sunday, but bottom line is clearly something that Eric Bieniemy is either not doing in these interviews or these interviews are already predetermined. It's one or the other. Otherwise, he would have a job right now. Look at some of these clowns that got a job instead of him in the last few years. A la Matt Patricia, for instance. What a foolish move that was on our part. Like Joe Judge. Big mistake. The names go on and on, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to give you a live update on what's going on in the NBA, man. It's not really too many games that's eye popping. Pistons are up right now in the third quarter, 77-73, like with 7 minutes and 24 seconds left. The Heat and the
Pistons playing
Spurs.
better, Cade playing better. It's good to see that, but it's still a long season in Detroit. Continue.
The Heat and the Spurs are playing, and the Spurs are down right now by 12, 66-54. The game the one of the games that intrigued me right now was a game that's on right now, and I'll be watching after we get off the air, is the Phoenix Suns and Atlanta Hawks. They're in Atlanta, and Atlanta up by 3 right now at the half.
Nice.
Bulls and Raptors, the Raptors is up 54-46.
Ball is out for a while, so that's probably why they losing.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking up too, man, and this game can be tricky. I would bet on it, but then when you look at it, man, they always resting their players a la old school Popovich with the San Antonio Spurs, and that's the King and Warrior. That's the West Coast game. They got them about 14-point favor. But I definitely want to see the Lakers and the Clippers game to see where that go, because both teams have been shaky. I feel like the Lakers are 2 games under 500 and the Clippers are a game under 500. I want to see what happens in this game and see the passion and see how they play, because
bottom line is the Clippers been doing it by smoke and mirrors lately, because remember, Kawhi ain't pretty much played all year, okay?
All year.
When he do finally get back, I don't even know what you're going to get out of him. You got Paul George out now. You got your boy, actually, the man that was once a Piston, Reggie Jackson, playing pretty decent for them, but he's inconsistent. Some games he goes off, some games he kind of disappears. And then you got some of those youngsters there like Man and some of those other guys that kind of chime in here and there. So bottom line, the Lakers should blow this game out. They should win by at least 10, but again, that depends on if everybody on the same page. And you know that's not always the case.
That Russell Westbrook effect could kill him too,
because Westbrook and Jackson, they both going to get to running their mouth today, and we'll have to see if that's going to affect Russell's play. Some people can run their mouth and then be highly effective. I don't think Russell's one of those guys. Sometimes Russell needs to shut up and play. And all right, Brian, hold on, Brian, I got a question for you. Question: do you think San Antonio should force Coach Pop to resign when his contract is up? He doesn't appear to be adapting to his new three-point crazy. Pointless basketball that is ruining the league. Yeah, that is true. That is something that I've noticed in his team, and I would say to a smaller degree, the Pacers are not advocates of basically playing the gun and go ball that a lot of these other teams are playing in the league, and the league is kind of passing him by in that regard. So yeah, what do you think about that, Hugh?
I think that they definitely need to get like a 3 point specialist or something on the team, or have a couple of people who can actually make that shot, man. They're more traditional, old school basketball, and I think that that's starting to become obsolete in the league. I definitely do love to see the old school play, but then, they trying to basically make the centers extinct. And I'm like, man, that's crazy. They're trying to more or less say centers are hybrid power forwards, so basically trying to cancel that from the game. It's really ridiculous, man. But at the same time, that's what most people are doing, man. Everybody want to be fancy and go down and shoot threes when you got wide open guys in the perimeter, and that's what the new NBA became, man. It's sickening and it's disgusting to
I
me.
mean, the perfect thing is you look at a lot of these college basketball games now, and they show the starting lineups, and they rarely list anybody as a center. I think the Wolverines might be one of the few teams in the country that basically lists Dickerson as a center. Everybody else either is playing three guards and two forwards, or basically two guards and three forwards. There is no centers in most of these situations. So I think they're starting to be a product of what the league is becoming.
Hmm.
But that being
Which is
said, it's not like you agree with Pride that Coach Pop need to go on ahead and charge it to the game and move on and let the new guys take over.
Yeah, man, he's stuck in his ways, man, and it was unfortunate too because I don't have no beef with Pop, man, but Pop got that Bill Belichickishness in him, man. That kind of ruined his relationship with Kawhi and his, people, man, and it all started a domino effect.
The
But
only
I
thing I
definitely,
hate about all that, Hugh, is if that was the master plan, I really wish Becky Hammond would have held on and stuck with the San Antonio Spurs, because by rights, in my mind, that should have been the next head coach of the San Antonio Spurs.
I wouldn't even been surprised to see that, man, and I just feel like it's unfortunate, but yeah, I feel like they're going to eventually, like Pryor was saying, get. I think they only giving him the benefit of the doubt right now because, like you said, he is Pop, man. He's won 5 championships there, man. He's been like the golden standard of that franchise. But I feel like he's stuck in his ways, man, and I don't think that he wanna, adapt to the league and what's going on, and that's what you have to do nowadays, man. He's more the old school mentality, and you notice a lot of the old school coaches are not even in the league no more. You got some of the younger guys who play the run and gun, and the fancy shoot them up. We shooting deep all the time on the perimeter and type basketball. And I just feel like his style of play to me is a little bit more old fashioned and then it's not advanced. I mean, you lost a lot of your players when Manu Ginobili and, Tony Parker and all of those guys left, man. Tim Duncan, Robert Horry's, a lot of those guys, man, they're out of the league now, man. So yeah, he's stuck to that system and he's stuck on that type of basketball when, like you said, the league evolved, man. And he's going to have to do it himself. But if he don't want to, I feel like yeah, it's definitely time for them to try to find somebody to replace him right now. A young up and coming coach and just somebody who can give them an opportunity to win because man, they fell from grace, man, and you can still see them playing that same style of basketball, and they look ridiculous. Because honestly, to me, in my opinion, they don't even have the talent that they used to have before, by far.
Agreed. They should have never let DeMar DeRozan go to Chicago. That's part of what did them in. He was the most legitimate scoring threat that they had on that squad, and he could have played basically from the perimeter, or he could have played the mid-range game because he is definitely probably the best mid-range player in the league right now.
Guys are trying to get the hell out of San Antonio, man. Like, LaMarcus Aldridge, man, he couldn't wait to leave. DeMar DeRozan, man, he didn't stay significantly long, man. It's like they were like, hey, man, we want out, you know.
I mean,
And they
Aldridge never did get the proper respect in San Antonio in the first place. Let's be honest.
I was surprised he made that move too myself, man. But I think the money talked, man. I still feel like they would have been a better team if he stayed with Portland, man, and he stayed with my man's Dame Lillard. But I believe what forced him out was the money too, man. You know, Dame got that huge contract, and a lot of those guys start to disappear. You know.
Right. I really wonder what would have happened if Portland had decided to get Jokic instead of Nurkic. What kind
Mm.
of team that would have made them at this point? And
That
remember,
didn't make no
speaking of
sense to
X
me.
factors, you said what now?
That didn't make no sense to me too, man. I would definitely went for the Jokic, man.
Yeah, because keep in mind they figured that Nurkic at the time was the more fit player of the two, and at that point they had their choice. Because remember, Jokic was kind of a big guy at that point. That's when he was
Yeah,
trying
he was more. Yeah,
to lose the weight and become more of a flexible player. So, I mean, who could have foresaw that?
yeah, you're right. But the Joker, man, is a triple double, man, every night almost as a big man, and that's impressive, man. To have a big man who could do that. Just really feel bad now, man, because now when you look at it, it's like what he could have been on that team, man. I think that may be what Jokic needed, though, man. That push to say, hey, man, we feel like you a good player, but you a little overweight and you need to get yourself in shape, man. That little push and that nudge in the back that kind of sting a little bit, man, but it gives you the motivation to be the player that you can be. And the player that he could be was an MVP, reigning MVP. So, yeah, man, that it might have set not well with him, but at the same time, man, he didn't really have to work on his game because he's a phenomenal player. It was just the fact that he needed to work on physically getting in shape. And now look at San Antonio, man. I mean, not San Antonio, Jesus. Look at those guys in Portland, man. I know they're sick right now. They like, damn, we had this on our team. And that's why it seems like they always taking steps back, man, because they had pretty good players over there too when before my man's got that huge contract. Dame Lillard, man. I did like Nicholas Batum, man. I liked a lot of those guys. DeMarcus Aldridge. And I thought that if they could have kept that little nucleus together, man, I definitely thought they'd be a little better, man. And I definitely feel you on that, man. If they kept the Joker over there too, and I would say, hell, I wouldn't even mind them getting rid of Aldridge, like you said. But if they just would have kept the Joker and kept a Nicholas Batum, as a hell of a defender, and with McCollum and those guys, man, I definitely see them doing something, man. Because it seems like as much as I like Portland, man, and I love to see Lillard and McCollum play, if this is always the case, they'll play in the first round, man. They'll probably play a team that they can match well with, or they overmatched, and they can beat them. But that second round, they always run into a Golden State or somebody to where they can't quite, mesh, and they don't have enough to beat them, and they're out. They usually we in the first round and we made the first round. Now anything else is basically just a gimme. We playing with the house's money.
I mean, bottom line, remember, Jeremy Grant was on that Portland squad. Why didn't they see what we ended up seeing when we brought him to Detroit?
You're right, E. Damn, I didn't even think about that, man. It's like, what the hell are they not seeing in a talent perspective over there? Because they had talented people over there, man. It's just that I just don't know what the heck is going on over there, man. It's just like they missed many guys. They missed a lot of opportunities to have great players. And I know they're looking at it right now, man, and they're not too happy. That'd be funny if they try to get him back, but I don't see that happening. I definitely believe he's going to be on the competitor, and he's going to definitely be on the team that can help them win right now, and they're trying to win now. I just want to see how far it goes. I'm just waiting to see what team that he's going to fall to, and I'm interested in seeing what some other big moves is going to happen, because a lot of the moves, I don't even think we expect them right now. We don't even know what's going to happen. But it's going to be some moves that help elevate teams, man. And I think when they do it, too, they do it sometimes, man, and not to just focus on this year. They be thinking about future years. Like Vujicic, man, when he left Orlando and he went to the Chicago Bulls, they did that just to keep Zach LaVine, because they thought they were going to lose him at first. They wanted to get Vucevic over there, and when he went over there, they said, okay, we want to try to keep LaVine at bay, and we're going to try to build around him. And damn, did they do that, man. They ended up getting Lonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan with Vujicic. And when they did that, it definitely made for a good team around him, man. And I definitely feel like that's what they were trying to create in Chicago. And sometimes you just need that one piece to try to help rebuild, man, or get a couple of free agents or draft picks here or there, and you'd be right in the midst of things. I think, unfortunately, the Chicago Bulls had a lot of injuries this year, and that's why they've been kind of shaky. But that's a team who I feel like was a good pedigree. You don't have to swing for the fences. Just get a decent enough player that fits your system and then try to build around them the next year or the off season to see what you can get out of it.
Do you feel like the New York Knicks need to make a deal?
Hell yeah, man. I think that they need to make a deal. And I just don't know what they're really missing, man. I feel like more or less they need more play on the wing, man. What's the one kid's name? The popping kid. I just feel like
Obi Toppin?
yeah, he make good plays, man, but I still feel like they need a solid contributor night in, night out, man. You got your Julius Randles, you got your RJ Barris, and I feel like Jalen Rose still is useful, and they got some really good key cogs on that team. I like Alec
And,
Burke and role.
and I really like the fact that they went and got Cam Reddish. I think that's going to be a good move for them.
Cam Reddish was a hell of a deal, D, and that was so low key. Remember, we talked about that, and I said, "Damn, that was a really good low key deal," and nobody even really paid it no attention. I just feel like it's just one more move that they need to make, and I don't know what it is yet, man. But I think that they need to make an impactful move, man. Do you think it's the strength in their core, or do you think it's something like a veteran presence who can help on the bench? Whenever the Julius Randles or somebody's out the game, that they still had that spark when the second unit come in. What do you think
I,
about that?
I definitely think a quality big man is needed. Somebody around that 6'6" range that could be a decent defender, but can shoot on the perimeter some. I'm not exactly sure who that would be. Ideally, somebody like a Jeremy Grant even would probably be a good move for them. But
Yeah,
that being said, what would they offer the Pistons in return? Would it straight be draft picks? Would the Pistons be good with that? I mean, bottom line, it looks like at this point the Pistons might be better off basically pulling one of those moves and tanking the rest of the season and try to get one of these top picks in the draft. But looking into college basketball right now, we've been checking it out a lot lately. There is no player that like steps out to me and says, "Oh yeah, this is the next one." It ain't even no Cade Cunningham in this draft coming up for what I see so far. So I don't know how much better or worse that makes the Pistons if they look to move in that direction.
big ups to Candace Parker too for giving him his credit where he deserved, man. She was basically always talking about, yeah, she was saying how everybody's talking about some of the other good players in the league, but they wasn't giving Kay Cunningham his respect, man. I checked out a few games and kind of watched him play too, man. That kid is fearless, and I think that he played good, man. I still feel like they needed more pieces over here with us, man. But then, we're going through that, roller coaster right now. We still got to get a nucleus and get some of the players and the talent and perspective to play the way the game needs to be played. Because some of the guys be like Jekyll and Hyde every night. I see some guys and I'm like, damn, he look like he's ready to move to the next level. Then I'm like, damn, he needs to stay in G League and never come out. So yeah, it's like we have all
Killian
these
Hayes is trash, okay? Killian Hayes is trash.
Oh,
Get rid
man.
of him.
Not a
Get
fan
rid
of
of him.
that guy whatsoever, man.
I
That
take
was a
Ben
bad
over him
investment
any
from the
day,
jump.
Pride. Killian Hayes was a waste of a top 10 pick, no doubt about it.
I agree with you, man. I definitely gave up on that brother, man, a long time ago.
Now, we got a couple decent players on the squad, but ultimately, I think we got part of the nucleus. We still need those two top players. I think in the end, the Pistons going to go out in free agency and they're going to overpay a couple people. I think that's the only way we get to some type of relevancy in the next couple years.
Because, yeah, I definitely wish it was like the golden days. Hayes is not NBA ready. He's coming off the bench now.
He ain't even D League ready, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree with you. Why is that fool on the NBA roster? That's
Exactly.
how I feel.
I know it's better players in the D League that could be playing in his spot right now. Ain't no doubt about that in my mind.
Yeah, because I definitely don't think he got what it takes right now, man. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty much doubting that right now because I just don't feel like he comes in and come with the same energy every night.
He is very inconsistent and
Man,
turnover prone as well.
if Jekyll and Hyde was a person in the NBA, it's that dude.
Exactly. Exactly.
Do you think Phoenix need to make any moves, man, or do you
Nope,
feel like okay where they at?
I do not. If I'm Phoenix, I got the best record in the league right now. I ride with what I got.
Because there's some teams, and I'm trying to look at, and I'm like,
Because
man,
right now, it's a couple teams. I think they don't need to make no moves. They just need to get healthy. Perfect example, Denver Nuggets. We all know
mhm.
they got Jokic, and basically, if Embiid is the MVP, Jokic is still in top 5 in the conversation. But we already know once we get Murray back and healthy in Denver, they may have a whole different ball game. Because
Because
Murray
you know
definitely
that
was one of the top 5 players in the league before he got hurt. No doubt in my mind.
Jamal Murray was that dude,
And then, of course,
man.
the X factor with Golden State is what do we get when we get your boy back, the kid that
Wiseman.
came out of Memphis last year. He had all year to kind of work on some things and whatnot. If he comes back and is even half the player that he started to be last year, that makes Golden State that much more dangerous.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, E. That Looney dude is a bum.
Who?
Looney on
Oh, you
Golden
talking about
State.
basically Looney is what he is, okay? And now you know this had to come up somewhere in the conversation.
Pride must have to be here in the show when I was discussing it, man.
No, he
Yeah,
wasn't here yet.
I definitely feel like he's the MVP right now, and by him carrying that team on his back, and we didn't even forgot about Ben. It was funny when we first made up the top, and we were talking about what was going on with Ben, man, because I was so focused on how Embiid held his own and how he's holding his weight. Because Shaquille was even talking about it on the show, him and Barkley, man. He said that that guy took all our criticism. He said we talked about him all the time. We'll say, hey, man, you need to work on this. You need to do this better. And they always said that they always, criticize him for playing too much and not being serious when he's out there on the basketball court. And they said they always got on him for that. And now it seems like it paid off. But he said he never cried. He never complained. He paid attention and he listened to them. And he did just that. You got to be able to take that criticism, man. And I just don't feel like Ben could do it, man. Shaq was saying he ain't nothing but a big baby.
You reading this? You reading that, Hugh?
Then I heard about that, man. That was pretty stand up with him, man. When they kind of got to the altercation, he paid for my man fine. That was class, man.
Actually,
That he got that type of money when he got fined with, and that was huge. I had definitely gave him all respect for that, man.
Embiid is a good dude. Now, granted, he's probably very salty right now because we all know early on his career how he had the big crush on Rihanna, and now Rihanna done popped up with the baby. So I know he ain't happy about that. But overall, he having a good life over there in Philly. Remember, it was about a couple years ago that he was getting booed like Santa Claus over there and wasn't too happy with the Philly crowd. But now they love him. He ain't quite on that Iverson or Dr. J level there yet, but he on his way.
He definitely getting his pays. He definitely paying his dues.
And like I said,
Definitely the way that man been playing.
on a good night, he looked like an even better version of Hakeem Olajuwon. I ain't gonna lie.
Absolutely, man. That dude could dribble. He could shoot the inside, outside shot, block, rebound. He could do it all, man.
Bottom line, when he was coming out of Kansas, I had no idea he would be this good. None at all.
Not at all, man. He stepped his game up a whole nother level.
And I ideally think that if we're going to have the next big superstar to come in the league the next couple of years, it's going to have to take something like that. Because right now, like I said, we got a lot of very good college basketball players, but not a lot of great ones. And that goes on both the men and women's side. I say the only exception to that is, of course, my girl Paige Beckers. Because bottom line, if we get her back healthy 100%, yeah, she going to be the next one.
Yeah, college, man. I don't think they had that guy yet, man. And you know the guy I've been talking about, and I've been a huge fan, and I've been looking at is the kid, man. He's still a rookie, the Isaiah Thompson kid out of Purdue. And we talked about how good Purdue looked, man. But damn, I seen Auburn, man. Them dudes are juggernauts, man. And it leaves a bad taste in my mouth because, you know, regardless of the fact I'm SEC bound, you know, with Bama, but they thrashed them boys.
Yeah,
You see that?
you know he had to bring up Alabama somewhere in this show.
Yeah, they got thrashed. You see that game?
Yes,
Harvard
I
beat the
did.
crap out of
Yeah, I
the boy.
understand that your people from Alabama. My people from Missouri. I ain't mentioned Missouri not one time. Shout out to
You
the
know,
Tigers.
you don't have no reason to after what happened. No, we need to stop
That
playing.
wasn't me, fam. That was all the guru. That was all the guru said that. Send your
We need to
emails
stop
and
playing
stuff to
like
that
that,
guy.
man, because we are the struggling franchise, and I don't know when the hell we gonna get out of that, man. With our Detroit, man, we've been in the struggle.
Man, I sure do look forward to the day post-COVID when one of our teams is halfway decent. We almost on the verge of that. Shout out to them Red Wings. That's basically finished the first half of the season at about 50-50. So it's an outside chance they might actually make the playoffs this year. Do you care?
They held us down for many years, man. We got 3 titles out of them dudes.
Bottom line, you'll see me wear some Red Wings gear right now before you see me wear no Lions or Piston gear. I ain't gonna lie about that. Until they do right by me, they get no love.
Hey, we got 5 minutes left, man. Any last words you need to say?
Okay, well, first of all, again, shout out to all the birthday people. Shout out to y'all. Second of all, a couple slight things I want to mention in terms of sports. I want to get into the child of one Dennis Rodman. This young lady who plays for the professional soccer league here in America is going to become the highest paid player in said league at 19. Now, understand, I think part of the key to bringing women's sports up to the forefront will be people like herself who has the cachet. One of the things I'll talk about on one of the new shows that I'm doing for the network. Oh yeah, we'll get into a little bit of that too for you, Pride. But you know, I think it's gonna take people who are the son or daughter of, or whose daddy is Elon Musk or Bill Gates or whatnot. So bottom line is you care more because you know who they are. It's gonna take like the cousin of Paris Hilton or somebody like that, where they basically bring entertainment and that world together to where now you pay attention because, oh, she in the soccer league, but that's so-and-so. So now we're going to watch. It's going to take something like that in order to bring some of these other women's sports to the forefront. Sad but true. Either that or we go the Hugh route and put them all in lingerie and have them play in their draws. Look at it.
I ain't say that, y'all.
You monkey. But okay, back to what Brad talking about. The Almighty is champ again, and Brock Lesnar must be stopped.
I was definitely happy to see that, man. I was kind of mad that it was outside interference, though. I definitely wanted my man's Lashley to beat him fair and square. They acting like Lashley couldn't even beat that dude fair and square, man.
Well, I'm sorry y'all done ruined that for me because I ain't watched it yet, but now I know.
Oh, damn, my bad.
That being said, this is not sports related, but let me bring it up. The season finale of Power and the season premiere of the next Power is on Sunday. My people, can we get a 48-hour no spoiler rule, please? Some of y'all just be so anxious to talk about it. It comes on 8 o'clock on regular Star Television, but some of y'all get the pay-per-view and all that, so y'all can see it at midnight, so y'all done already told the business. Can y'all at least let people watch it? Give them 48 hours before y'all come, talking about what didn't happen, and so-and-so still alive, and so-and-so dead, and that's so-and-so's daddy. Can we give us a minute to catch up? Some of us work. Some of us be busy. Give us a couple days to marinate and watch it before y'all get to telling all the business.
Y'all can't spoil Ozark for me. I'm already in.
There you go. Then I'm just saying, Pride, and this is one person in particular. If you watching this for some odd reason. I know you ain't a sports person, but you the main one be telling all the business about the show. Give us 48 hours. Dang. All right, anyway, y'all, I'm done talking. It's on you. Finish us up, man.
Y'all already know what to do, man. Hit me up on that Pure to the Game blog, man. Try to keep the news together for y'all, most times updated. And just try to keep y'all up to date, man. Putting in that work. Whenever y'all have any questions or any comments, man, hit me up on that page. And just like to say happy birthday to all the people whose birthdays and happy belated birthdays. And y'all just take care of yourselves. Be safe, man, and be blessed. And be careful out there, man.
And again, y'all, we are slowly but surely getting our upgrades together here. Some of it is technical stuff. Some of it is financial situation. Back in the day when H2 was with us, God rest her soul, she went and got sponsors and all of that. Basically, this is based on what I'm able to do at the time. So be patient. Some of y'all that's looking for me to make some promos for you. Some of y'all that want to talk about having broadcasting stuff on the network. Y'all need to give me about 30 days to kind of get things situated on this end, and then we can have some serious discussions about it. Hopefully by that point, we'll have everything where we need to be with. But in the meanwhile, we are doing some new type of things. I'll talk about that more on Sunday on the show we know as Gametime Audible. We doing that now. See, I blame you, Meech. You confused me when you confused it early.
Yeah, he hit you with to get off the lawn.
Right. On Get Off My Lawn Live on Sunday, we're going to talk more about this whole thing with the Rooney Rule and whatnot. Controversial as I'm about to make this. Keep in mind, I'm going to give y'all some time to marinate on it, but I'm going to explain to y'all why we need to get rid of the Rooney Rule for good.
I definitely be chiming in on that too, E, man. You know, it ain't no football.
It will be football related, sir. Especially
No, I'm talking about no football like on Sunday.
Yeah, like I said, so that give you some stuff to check in on. We're going to talk about that. We also going to talk the latest on the whole Oxford High School situation. That's still a whole mess right now, I'm afraid. And also we will talk about some things that I, again, need y'all to consider post-COVID, because I do believe, based on the numbers and the fact they're going down, that this is going to be the last big hurrah for COVID. From this point on, we're going to look at it differently. And once we get that out of the way, we got to start looking at some of the bigger problems that we're having in our country right now. Because they've
been definitely sugarcoated, and there's been a lot of distraction because of COVID, and that's been chiming away from a lot of the things that's been going on in our country, which is a shame.
Right. And since we sit here, Hugh, I definitely would like to invite you to co-host the show with me on Sunday, because like I said, there's definitely some things that you'll be able to speak to, and particularly when we get to that discussion about the Rooney Rule. So if you'd like to be my guest on Sunday, by all means, let's do that. So
I'll be here.
Yeah, all right, cool. So join me and Hugh on Sunday for Get Off My Lawn Live, 7:30 p.m. We will definitely get into it. Come with an open mind, please, because like I said, a couple of things I'm going to talk about, y'all going to be like, but I didn't really thought about this, and hopefully I'm going to have y'all thinking about it too. So that being said, we about to head on out. The man with the master plan is Hugh. Any last words when we hook it on up?
Y'all have a blessed night.
I agree with that. And if y'all still dealing with Snowmageddon, it's pretty much over now. Get up a little early tomorrow and shovel. Hopefully they'll do their job and salt the roads. And Friday, we can go on back to normal winter programming, okay? Okay, one last comment before we head out, Hugh. Thank you, Brian.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you for being a part of it and always showing us love as usual.
And shout out to all our people in the Nighthawk Network support group. We love y'all. You miss y'all. Remember, we here for you, all right? We here for you. Oh, one last note, y'all. I do want to say this. I'll probably address it Sunday as well. But if y'all going through anything right now, y'all having any type of mental situation, any type of things y'all feel like y'all need to talk about, we here for you, okay? That's part of what the Nighthawk Network is for y'all to be able to seek out help from us, and we able to help you when we can. So if you are one of our family members or our friends on the Facebook page or the YouTube page, and y'all kind of going through some things and y'all need somebody to talk to, we here for you. I know I speak for you when I say that.
Amen.
So by all means, reach out. And remember, if you got any questions, comments, anything like that you want to discuss, by all means, you can reach out to us on the Gmail account that is
Plug them with that plug them.
nighthNetwork313@gmail.com. Again, that is nighthNetwork313@gmail.com. And of course, if you are having any problems that are beyond what you think we could deal with, please contact this number here. Oh, hold on. There you go. The National Domestic Abuse Hotline. That will also link you to the National Suicide Hotline if you are thusly having that issue as well. So please, by all means, seek the help that you need if you indeed need it. Hugh?
Over and out.
All right then, y'all.
That's Audible for the night.
Yep, we'll holler. Peace. Gametime Audible is a Nighthawk Network presentation.